Welcome to Bruins Benders Postgame Live on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel with Maddie and Smitty. You can click subscribe to watch us all season long on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Had a little bit too much eggnog. And on X, we are at the Bruins Benders as well. We do the game updates throughout the game. And here we are with another post game, and the Bruins get a big 6-3 win. Charlie McAvoy before the game said that the dam was going to break. We likened it to the Hoover Dam, and lo and behold, the Hoover Dam comes crashing down, and the Bruins are an offensive juggernaut in a 6-3 win over the Islanders tonight.
Oh yeah, 80s Soviet Red Army out there.
Oh yeah,
just tic-tac-toe all over the ice.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, shit, we'll take it.
Hey,
we'll take it.
We shall.
2 goals quickly off the hop by Brad Marchand, and then Pavel Zacha, who's been snake bit most of the year, finishes with 2 big goals in the third, and the Bruins get out of there with the win. Pastrnak with 3 assists. So, a bunch of positives there. I thought they regressed a little defensively. So they need to find kind of maybe a happy medium between scoring no goals and giving up no goals, and giving up a bunch and scoring a bunch. So, a happy medium would be nice, or they could play good defense and score goals, and that would be the best of all worlds.
Well, that would be similar to the last couple of years if they did that.
Yeah.
This year they have not put a lot of full games together. But they get a win on the road here, and in the Joe Sacco era, they are 3-1. And heading into a couple of games here against Pittsburgh at home and Montreal at home that are entirely winnable against teams who have struggled, so they can be all of a sudden 13-10-3 and cooking with gas here if they win the next 2.
Yeah, and they should be. To be perfectly honest with you, they should be 13-10-3 after the next 2. Montreal stinks, and Pittsburgh stinks. So, if they're a team that has their eyes on the playoffs, on the playoff picture, on being a playoff team, they need to win these games. These are the type of games you need to win, especially if you're, around 500 and have kind of struggled a little bit. You had your coaching change. We said going into that this was a stretch where you could pick up some wins. So now they need to pick up the wins. They need to win these games that are winnable on the schedule. They need to tighten things up defensively, and they need to, start scoring goals like they did tonight.
They do. And tonight was, at least it's a good feeling for the team to get 6 goals, to get off the schneid a bit. And maybe this gets them a little bit more confident heading into, again, a team against, Pittsburgh and Montreal are 2 bad defensive teams. Poor.
Yeah.
So they should be able to pile on some more goals these next couple of games, and then start to feel good about themselves when they play like Winnipeg, heading down the road here.
Yeah, hopefully the confidence comes back, because they need it for sure. And having some guys get multi-point nights, I think tonight was a step in the right direction. You get Zacha, with a couple of goals off the schneid. I thought he played well. He's been playing well, but he just hasn't been rewarded with it. And then Pastrnak tonight has 3 assists, and you like to see the one, especially at the end, where he wins a puck battle, gets the puck out front to Zacha, and they score. It wasn't just like I have possession, I pass it up the boards, and someone scores. It was making a wall play and winning a battle, and then that translates into a goal. So that's a good sign there too, I think. But the big thing now is, we gotta hit the eggnog. We gotta go.
Yeah, the eggnog. It's victory eggnog.
All right, so we gotta go to the nog. This is my first taste of eggnog. Look at that nice lobster.
In your natural born life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly, I was thinking about it, and I think it might be. I don't think I've ever had eggnog before. I really don't. I
think I have at like a party or something. Like I've had it out of the bowl or something. I think I have. But that was several years ago. I mean, this is a new development for me too.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and I don't think I've ever done it before, because when I was a kid, the thought of like raw eggs is what I thought it was, basically, in a cup. Like that made me.
Yeah, or like eggy,
it made me want to vomit. Like I like scrambled eggs and stuff, but I don't want to drink raw eggs. I just didn't like the sound of it, didn't like the look of it really.
No.
But now with a little booze.
Yeah, so here it is. So this is Jameson and golden egg, whatever it is.
Yeah, Jameson and golden nog, golden nog.
Yeah,
little nutmeg, cinnamon. Little cinnamon.
Mm-hmm. Tell you what, it's not bad.
Holy fuck!
Not bad. That's not bad. I mean, it's a nice dessert. That's a dessert drink if I ever tasted one there.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
It's really good.
I've been drinking this all along. Holy shit! It's like a vanilla shake. It is amazing.
I mean, it might be the bartender because but it's it's good.
It is amazing. Oh my God! Cheers! Fucking A.
Cheers! I'll tell you what. I also have. We're talking about sides. I have this sausage ball right here.
Why do you have a loose sausage ball?
I just have a loose sausage ball, just loose.
Yeah, your balls are loose tonight.
Yeah, it's just a little loose.
Letting them loose. Letting your ball.
I mean, we just won 6-3. We got to get.
Is it a sweaty ball?
No sweaty balls. It's not a dusty muffin either. It's a sausage. It's a sausage ball.
It's a sausage ball.
Not of the sweaty.
Is it an Italian sausage ball, an Irish sausage ball? What are we talking?
This is more of a breakfast. No, it's not breakfast. This is more of just a regular sausage ball with some. I think there might be some cheese in it.
Okay.
And it's delicious. I mean, they're delicious. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
What's the difference between a sausage ball and a meatball?
A sausage ball is like is like actual like dough. Like it seems like dough, like bread. It's like like the consistency of like a biscuit, almost like a biscuit type of thing.
It's a biscuit with sausage.
Well, it's sort of biscuity, and it has sausage in it. Like it's a mixture that you mix up, and then you
cheese.
Ball them up, and you put them on the tray.
Because I love me a good from McDonald's, like a sausage, egg, and cheese on a biscuit.
I mean, on the biscuit, the biscuits, KFC,
whatever. So sausage biscuit right there. That sounds
no doubt. All right, so back to the game, 6-3. Now defensively, the 3 goals they gave up, left side of the defense, all on the left side, in low rye, fumble city on a bouncing puck. And then Nelson comes in and scores a goal to tie the game at 2. And then the poor puck management. Now, we saw some pretty poor puck management. 2 of the goals were really poor puck management that it resulted in the goal that Korpisalo should have had that kind of leaked through by Siplikov.
Yeah.
And then the goal by Nelson, short side. I thought all 3 goals Korpisalo could have had. 2 off his angle, and then 1 leaks through. That's
I mean, Nelson could shoot the puck, so one
scores goals.
Yeah, I mean that one, him coming down the wing, he's on his off wing, so the puck's on the inside. Like that's a tough save.
Sure.
I mean, you'd like him to make it, but I can't really fault him on that one. And the other ones, like you said, had puck management. So I don't really blame him on any of those because it was bad turnovers and then extended zone time. And on the goal, the second goal by Nelson, Zadorov completely screened.
Completely.
Korpisalo trying to go down to block it. Guy's like a human eclipse out there. He goes down to one knee to block it, and the shot gets through. And once it gets through, if Korpisalo's you're trying to make a positional save and it just sneaks inside the near post.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame him on any of them. You'd like him to have a save, but I really blame the defense more on, bad puck management, bad clearance, bad turnovers, all of that. And that stuff, it's been an issue all year long. And I think with this defensive group, unfortunately, I think it will continue to be an issue until they get Hampus Lindholm back and you can take one of these guys out of the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, the giveaways were plentiful tonight. These are the recorded giveaways, not all the giveaways as you've talked about with that stat. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15 giveaways. And a couple from Carlo. Of course, it's the defenseman typically. Carlo had 2, Zadorov had 2, McAvoy had 1, Wotherspoon had 2. So it's a defenseman trying to leave the zone, like trying to move the puck, advance the puck. At times they've done it a little bit better since Sacco took over, but I still feel they're still trying to play that way a little bit too much, and it's a little bit too loose. It's just a little bit too loose and hot potato with the puck, trying to advance it quickly.
Yeah, I just feel I agree. I feel like they're a little too much trying to bang it up the same wall that the puck was already on, or they don't want to reverse it as much to maintain puck possession. They don't seem to go D to D, but they go to a forward like coming back towards the Z zone, which I don't get. I don't get it, because all he ends up doing is passing it back to the D man. So like, why don't you just go to the other defenseman? That forward can swing, and then he has momentum going towards the other team's goal instead of your goal.
Right.
You're passing it back to him as he's coming back towards his own net in the neutral zone. Makes no sense to me.
Makes zero sense.
I don't understand why they do that.
Yeah.
And then, you could just go D to D there and get up the ice quicker than I think you could with the guys circling back. It just, I don't know.
One or 2 reversals, and I think you could hit a guy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you reverse the puck more, if this team reversed the puck more, they'd have easier zone exits.
Mm-hmm.
They could make more tape to tape passes, and then they come through the neutral zone with more speed.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what I feel like they should be doing, but I felt that all along, and apparently been overruled, because I don't have to say.
Apparently.
Hey, no one listens.
Yeah, T-Boz is coming up with the sip tonight is Weller Full Proof Single Barrel Pick, 114 proof, barreled better than 10 years ago.
114 proof.
That's $6,000, but
you
can have it if you want it.
He's getting towards moonshine territory with those.
He is. He's just grain alcohol. He's just
out there drinking
my veins.
Raw alcohol, grain alcohol.
Yeah.
Purple passion,
the big 3-liter bottle.
Yeah.
How about Freddie tonight? So T-Boz says Freddie was the outlet. Head up his ass as usual. I tell you, there was a play. I texted you guys of this. There was a play, long shift. Freddie finally, Zadorov, I think, chips the puck up. Freddie has a chance to play it, and he just kind of one hand flips it, and it goes all the way down for an icing. One hand on the stick.
You say? Huh.
Yeah. When he could have just knocked it down, turned, gained the line, and then dump it in so they can make a change. Instead, it's an icing. And I just don't see where there's a ton of effort from him. And I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if he thinks that the Bruins are going to move on from him eventually, because this is pretty bad from him. Like, he's doing nothing, like zero. And here's the other thing. Why don't they scratch him? Like, why don't they just scratch him? He's not so valuable like a Pastrnak or someone where you have to live with it. Why don't you just scratch Freddie for a game or two and be like, dude, watch the game upstairs and figure it out? Because right now he's useless.
Why can they scratch Morgan Geekie but not him?
Yeah, I don't understand.
And since Geekie's been scratched, he's been better.
He's been better, and he scored tonight. I mean, he's been better, and he's been better overall.
Yeah. So that's my point. Like, Freddie could watch.
Sure.
I mean, I texted you guys in the group chat about this and said I have not heard his name one time during the game at all.
I didn't either.
Like, he's not doing anything. He's not even. He's not like, it's not a hit by Frederick. Nothing.
No, it's not like nothing.
2 periods. I didn't hear his name mentioned.
Touch the puck. Yeah, it's insane. He just skates around. I don't know, and I don't know why he continues to be on the ice. To be all honestly, Geekie was better tonight. He's been better. He's been at least more noticeable and visible, and he working a little bit better with his puck possession and so forth. And then tonight he found some open space, and Zacha played a great game again.
He did.
Like, Zacha's been
good,
pretty good for much of the season. I mean, there's been some dips in offense. And
Sure.
he's had some not so great puck luck, and he's been snake bit too.
Yeah.
But overall, I think Zacha's been pretty good this year. And tonight he was excellent. Like tonight, I thought he was just really, really good.
So I saw a stat on Twitter. I'm gonna say it was Ty Anderson, but I'm not 100% sure. But the since Geeky, Zacha and Pastrnak have been together under Sacco. At one point, I think the shots when they were on the ice was like 27-3 in their favor. So, they're playing pretty well and generating chances. That line seems to have found something. And Geeky scores tonight. He's had some other chances with those guys. Zacha gets a couple of goals, so maybe they found something there. The Marchand, Brazo, Lindholm line seems to have found something. They really got to do something with that third line, though. That third line is a black hole.
It is. It's gross.
Coyle, Frederick Johnson, Coyle, Frederick McLaughlin, Coyle, Frederick. I honestly, and someone tweeted this out to me because I mentioned that Lysell has now 6 points in 7 games, and Providence scored tonight. I said, bring him up. It's time. Bring him up. Bring Lysell up. And then bring Patra with him and bring Merkulov with him. I wouldn't be opposed to throwing all those guys on the line together and letting them see what happens.
Just let them play. Just let the young line or whatever.
Yeah. Young guns, call it whatever you want. I don't care.
Whatever you want. Just put them all in Patra, Lysell, Merkulov.
Yeah.
Do
it.
Put them all
out there. I mean, they will never do that because there's no one that's defensively.
They would never
do
that.
No.
They would never do that.
Not in 1 million years.
Just like I said, I would never drink eggnog.
Yeah.
They will never do that.
Right.
In a million years.
Nope.
You would have to, not over John Sweeney's dead carcass would they ever do that.
Wow, that's good.
It is pretty good. So Zacha was excellent. I thought it was just really, really good. And Marchand, like Brad Marchand, just looked like kind of the old Marchand tonight. Like he was buzzing around. He was making a play into the zone, and then if the possession turned over, he was going to back check and get the puck back. Like he was the old Marchand. He was just buzzing, and he seemed his skating legs were there, and it just looked like maybe he's starting to get into a rhythm and starting to get his legs back. His hip is getting right. Like it just looks like things are starting to come together for him, which would be such a blessing.
They need it. Oh yeah, they need it. And I agree. I think his legs are starting to come back. I think maybe he's starting to get his wind from the injuries and not being able to train and it's taken him some time, but we were worried that it was age, but maybe it was just the injuries and him having to kind of fight back from them. And it seems like, we're getting, glimpses now of the old Marchand, and they could certainly use that to have another dangerous forward out there.
Yeah. So, and as Dan Maynard says, it was a win that they really needed going into Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And as T-Buzz says, in the playoff picture at American Turkey Day, and that's what you want. The percentages are real low for teams that aren't in the playoff picture by Turkey Day, like 20-something%. Like it's real low.
Yeah, I think
this is a good one.
If you're in playoffs, I think it's 77%.
Right.
If you're in the playoff picture by American Thanksgiving. So, yeah, it's like.
Yeah, there you go. So that's a really good sign for them, for sure. Korpisalo, I thought, you mentioned the goals and so forth. I mean, he's the backup goalie. I thought he did make some really good saves, especially beginning of the third. I thought the Bruins were not very good.
No.
Like, they were hemmed in. Islanders really pushing. And they were lucky and the Bruins were kind of lucky to get that goal from Zacha and tight to make it 4-3 because it really changed the momentum completely. Like it almost was the dagger after all that pressure that the Isles put on and couldn't score.
Yeah, it was against the run of play. I felt like, I thought, the late goal in the second, with whatever it was, 25 seconds left or whatever
Right.
it was. I think that
Yeah.
gave the Islanders
It was
momentum.
7 seconds left. Yeah.
Yeah. And they carried it into the third, and I thought the Islanders were the better team in the early part of the third. And then the Bruins got that goal, and then I think you're right, the momentum just shifted from that point. And the Bruins got another one fairly quickly after that, and then the empty netter by Zadorov late. So it ended up working out for the Bruins, in the long run, I guess, that, they were able to, build on the lead there in the third after the Zacha goal.
Yeah. Supernaut 888, 8 goals combined. Few people saw that coming. And I'll tell you that, DraftKings had it at like 5.5 over under. FanDuel had it like 4.5. They showed on Nesson. That's crazy. And I even felt like it could be one of those games that got a little bit open ice and I don't know, just something told me. Sometimes when you think that two teams that just can't score, that all of a sudden there's all sorts of goals. And tonight there was a lot of open action, a lot of great chances, a lot of turnovers. Two teams that haven't been playing, great. The Islanders aren't as talented as the Bruins, I don't believe, but the Islanders are, they're not super great either. So it was just one of those nights where everything kind of aligned, and then you had, of course, Korpisalo's in there, and the Bruins were able to get a couple of quick goals, and that changed the whole complexion of the game right away, set the tone.
Yeah, and the Islanders are one of the worst, or I believe the worst home team in all of hockey. Only have 3 wins at home all year long. So, they're just a boring. Like, are there Islanders fans? Like, it doesn't seem like.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't really appear like anyone cares about the Islanders.
No, and in the 80s, they won 4 cups in a row. You would think there would be a tradition there, and it just isn't.
No, it doesn't. It's like, a new arena, but like, no one really seems to care. Like, I just, it's kind of like a boring team, boring franchise. Like,
right.
When you play them, and the games are kind of boring because they play that kind of defensive style, or have in the past. So it's just like, or Islanders, like, it just, it's not the Rangers, and it's not even the Devils. So, I don't know. It's just one of those teams that's just like,
yeah, I know. It's crazy. Pejman says, Pasta's head so far up his ass. He has pink eye. Overall, good win. Nice to see Zacha have a pulse. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Pejman. And Corpy did have some big saves. I'll give him that. And Pastrnak, he had the 3 assists. I thought he was better tonight. I mean, he's in a funk. He's now 7 games without a goal. And you can tell, like, goal scorers want to score. And once you get into 7, 8, 9 games without a goal, you're going to start to see some funky stuff from him.
Yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent, but I think because of the multiple point game with the assists, I think he can feel good about that. And maybe that will, unlock, maybe he'll relax a little bit because he thinks like, yeah, I contributed, 3 goals while I was on the ice. So, maybe that will relax him a little bit, and then he'll start putting some in.
Right. Yeah, sure. For sure. T-Buzz says that, he knows you do not have red breast, Smitty, and that's not a condition. I guess that's a drink.
I did have red breast. I was in Aruba because I got burned almost immediately
on the breastises.
On the breast, yeah. When I was down there, got burned almost immediately because I thought that it was shady enough. Yeah. It wasn't, and so swim shirt for this guy for the rest of the trip.
Sure, no doubt. Brock Nelson. How do we get that guy? Says T-Boz. And I'll tell you, Nelson would be a guy that if you can work that out, I wouldn't mind getting Nelson.
Well, here's the thing: UFA at the end of this year.
Well, he's what, 33?
33 or 34, yeah,
something like that. Yeah, but he scores goals every single year. Like, he's a consistent goal scorer.
Yeah, he's a consistent 30 goal scorer. Is what he is.
He's an underrated goal scorer.
Sure is.
Impressive win on a back-to-back on the road. That's right, Aussie. That's a good point. Second night of a back-to-back after getting shut out at home was a good response. I do have the mood lighting, Dan, tonight. I got a little interrogation room going on here or something. I got a little spooky. A little Alfred Hitchcock going on here for all you.
So here you go for your Brock Nelson fans.
Okay.
Last 3 years, 37, 36, and 34 goals. 59, 75, 69 points. And this year he has 8 goals in 22 games.
Okay.
So he is on pace for 30. So that would give him a 30 over an 82 game season. So
yeah, well, that's good. You know, that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, they could use a 30 goal.
We could use, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, instead of chasing the center position that you can't get, like just go get some goal scores. You know what I mean? At least you'll score some goals.
Oh, for hell.
That's not the worst thing. No. Trav says Monty was the problem. Goddamn bald bitch. I won't take offense. You know how us bald bitches get in the way of things sometimes.
Yeah.
Monty is 2-0 as a St. Louis Blues coach, though. Beat the Rangers and the Devils. Like, oh boy. Yeah, that was that was signed, sealed, and delivered for a while. That whole Blues transaction that we'll talk about tonight as we record an episode dropping tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Nikki Kanak, 6 goals. Is this a dream? Turkey will taste so good. Keep it rolling, and I am with you. And I think they can with the 2 opponents coming up this week in Pittsburgh and Montreal. I really think they can. But they're at home. And how about this stat? They've scored 1 third period goal at home this season.
Yeah. Worse than the league. October 15th.
I mean, that's insane. That's really insane. Glorious, inglorious win. Much needed. If you guys have time to listen to other podcasts, please check out Pucks with Eggs. At the 25-30 minute mark, when the old wise guys of Bruins press room are ripping off on Lysell, Podstreams just minutes before he responds with 2 goals. Yeah, well, Lysell has been better, Smitty said, and I'm with you. Like I'm. It's time. You got to give him a shot at some time this season, right? I mean, you have to give him a shot, and you don't want to do it like in February. Yeah. Like, why don't you just do it now? Like, do it now. Do it right now.
Yeah,
bring him
right.
up.
Well, like that's my point. If you're gonna keep going in and out with your Connor Browns and your Riley Tufties and your Mark McLaughlins and why not Fabian Lysell? Why not him? If Tyler Johnson's going to be in and out of the lineup, why not Fabian Lysell in that spot? Why can't he play there?
Sure.
Maybe having a dynamic offensive player with Trent Frederick, the absolute stiff that he is, maybe he would score a little bit. I mean, he had a decent chemistry with Taylor Hall, and Hall's obviously an NHL player, and Lysell hasn't proven himself yet, but same kind of speed and dynamic ability with the puck.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little something. Maybe something could be found there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Adrienne missed the game out with family. Her sip tonight is a gin cocktail, which I'm a big gin and tonic guy.
Yeah.
I'll take me some gin and tonic, some Hendrick's gin and tonic with a couple limes. Sign me up for that one.
I'm like I said, I'm all about the drinks, and I love that. Did she call it a sip or did you?
She did.
Because I like the sound of that.
Nice sip with a gin. Yeah, I like the sip. Like, we should go a sip of the night.
Yeah, that's that
thing.
I think we are going to credit Adrian with that, and we're going to go. We're going to roll with that.
Just saying sips. Yeah, let's do sips. I was going to take another sip, but
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. Marchand is back playing with more speed. That's correct, Dan. That's a good point. Freddie could be playing himself. Do you think Freddie's playing himself? Playing like he's going to be traded, or
yes?
Do you think that? I think he is.
I think he's playing like he thinks he's going to be traded.
I think he thinks he's not part of the plan going forward, and I think he's ready to go. I do, and I don't know if Monty and the Blues would do that. Would work with the Bruins on a trade right now and then sign him.
I think they would.
I think they would, and they could. And I don't know what you want from the Blues, but I might just take a pick and stash the money.
Take
What
a
is
pick.
it, 2.3 that he has in the books?
Yeah, take a pick.
I might
and
just stash
take
the
a
money.
pick, save the money,
Yeah.
and maybe you can get somebody at the deadline that
Yeah.
you can score that can score goals.
Yeah. T-Boz did coin SIP, so we're going with SIPs all around here.
All right, so
And
T-Boz
the Bruins Benders shirt is arriving Tuesday at the Tampa. T-Boz. So that's good. That's good as well.
This is what it looks like, T-Boz, right here.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. It's a beaut. That is courtesy of Smitty himself, in the logo.
The writing on the sleeve
In the design. Yeah, the writing on the sleeve. Nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Donovan says Freddie has turned into a little bitch.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, he is completely face planted. He has completely face planted this season, and I don't understand why.
People say that he's hard to play against, but he's not the Freddie that he was when he first came up. He just isn't. He's not the same guy.
Hard to play
I don't know if
you're gonna be kidding me.
I don't know if he thinks he's like an offensive talent now, and that's his game. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But he's not an offensive talent.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do the things that we loved about him when he first came up, which was the fighting and the agitation and so forth. So, like you said, there's other guys on the team that can do that job better than him now. So he's expendable. He's expendable.
Yes, of course he is. When you're a minus 11 or whatever the hell, and you have 3 goals and 2 of them were on one night. Like, I just, come on. I mean, I never got the Freddie thing. Like, he started to find a role for himself and was scoring in a third line capacity, which is exactly what the Bruins needed out of him. And that was fine. Like, get in your lane and stay in your lane. And I was fine with it. I still wasn't a huge Frederick fan, but now I'm just like, this is what we thought he was. Like, for God's sakes. It's been really rough.
How about this for his projected stats? 11 goals, 11 assists, 21 points, minus 39.
Yeah, that's last year or 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? He was like a plus 28. Like, he was outstanding.
2 years ago, he had 17 goals, 14 assists, 31 points, and he was plus 28.
28, yeah. And Frederick and Coyle was a very good tandem. Like, they were a good pair for a while. And they have lost that mojo too. And Coyle has regressed some too. He's getting up there in age. I mean, you're right. The third line is the dead weight right now.
Yeah, the third line is a black hole. It's a black hole. They got to figure it out.
That has to be better.
Coyle with, Patra and Lysell. Try it.
Yeah. Okay, so Bruno asks, would you ship Frederick and a D for Kreider? Who's the D? Like, I'd ship Frederick and I don't know. Who would you send in that
Zadorov?
deal? Frederick and Zadorov for Kreider? Yeah, like, I would do that, sure. Would you do Freddie, Carlo, and a third for Kreider? No, I wouldn't do that much. I wouldn't do Carlo. I don't know if I'd do that. Would you do that? Freddie, Carlo, and the third for Kreider? Because your right side would be really rough.
Yeah, your right side is already thin. So that's the thing to me is, like, you're already one bad injury away from being in big trouble over there. So getting rid of Carlo, that means Peak is in your top 4. I don't love that.
Now, is Trouba playing the right side? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because Kreider and Trouba have been mentioned in trade talks, and I mean, you could get Kreider and Trouba. So would you? I mean, I would consider Frederick, Carlo in the third for those two.
I would consider that. See if they would arrange it would take Zadorov for Trouba in like a swapping of
malcontents. Yeah.
Jacob Trouba plays right D.
D. Okay.
All right.
Would you? So what do you know, Connie? Can you find out Trouba's contract situation? Because would you do Carlo? Like, would you? Because Carlo, I really like Carlo's contract. Like, I really like it. He's good, and he's a good player. Like, I like his contract. He's not the problem.
No,
I like his contract, and he's got a little bit more term left on a really
Jacob
good contract.
Trouba is on an $8 million AAV contract, and he's on year 6 out of 7. So next season would be the final
So
year.
next
of
is
the
his
$8
walk
million.
year, but $8 million, like, wow! Like I almost choked up my sausage ball.
And now
Like,
I
that's a
believe I
lot.
sent you guys this little tidbit, but I did have a conversation with the Ranting Rangers podcast host Jacob Berkowitz about the Kreider situation. And to be honest, one of the names that he brought up was Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah,
A 1-for-1 swap, and both players make the same amount of money.
and Kreider has what, 2 years left or something like that, 3 years left. He has less time than Lindholm on the deal. I mean, would you do Kreider Lindholm?
I mean, the Bruins do need goal scoring, but
They do. But do you lose too much on the defensive end?
I mean,
I mean, you'd have Low Rye on the left side with who? I mean, right now you have
now it's Low Rye,
Wotherspoon.
Waterspoon, Zadorov.
Yeah, I mean, would you leave that? I mean, that's leaving that pretty naked too. I mean, it's Zadorov for DeBrusque. Yeah, I mean,
I at this point in time, I mean, I would love to get Kreider. I would
love to get Kreider.
I don't know if you can trade from your defense to get him.
No,
unless
you can get,
unless it's Zadorov.
Right.
I don't know if you can trade from your defense to get him.
Right.
Right.
And I know Trouba is making 8. They'd have to assume some of that money. That's too much money.
Yeah.
But Trouba does play the right side. I don't know if I'd trade Carlo to the Rangers. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's really, this is what's the problem. It's just really hard for the Bruins to make trades because, first off, they have guys who probably aren't as valuable as you think. And the guys who are, they're not going to trade. Like, they're just not going to trade the 4 guys that are valuable.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't have enough good players to trade away.
They don't. I mean, you can't just take 4 guys and 4 guys equals 1. That doesn't work. It's a quantity over quality thing. It doesn't work.
No.
So you can't like just group a bunch of dudes who suck together and say, yeah, they'll take that for Kreider. Like, no, they're not going to take geeky, Frederick Wotherspoon. That's just stupid. That's not going to happen. I don't know if I trade Lindholm right now. I would consider it in the offseason if you miss the playoffs, and he would be a guy first and foremost for me. Would be Lindholm. Would be a guy that I would trade. And then I think if they dip and they're going to miss the playoffs, I think Marchand's on the table. I do. I think there's been some whispers, and I think it makes sense for Colorado to get Marchand. I do. I don't know if it'd be Pittsburgh, just because Pittsburgh isn't going to make the playoffs either, unless he really wants to play with Crosby. But I think it might be Colorado.
I mean, look, they're not going to trade him unless he asks out.
Unless he asks, right?
They'll have a conversation with him, and if he asks out and wants to go somewhere and try to win, then they'll entertain it. But they're not just going to trade. Like, they won't just trade him.
No.
Like, that won't happen. Will not happen.
No.
Without his consent, obviously. And I think it would be a Bork type thing where they say, do you want to go somewhere and play if they're falling out of it? But if they're in it, he's here. Yeah. He'll be here. And maybe he'll walk away for nothing at the end of the year. Who knows? They're not going to trade. They're not going to trade him unless he asks out.
Yeah, I don't. I used to think it was out of the question. I think it's more on the table now. Just something gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling. That's a door of contract will haunt the Bruins for years. Pejman, you are correct. I mean, that's $5 million for 5 more years. It's just like, it's just really difficult. And a third pair guy who you really didn't need. Like, I get the whole big physical thing, but you just didn't need him as that much to pay him that much. Like, you didn't need him. Like, you get a guy who does what he does for like $2 million a year. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it with him. Like, yeah, he's big and nasty when he wants to be, but how much of that? Well, he turns the puck over and he does all the other negative things that make it just cancels it out. Like for whatever he does well, he does like 4 things not well. And it's bad, you know.
Yeah, I just like they could have just got like another Andrew Peak type.
Yeah.
And paid him.
Do you think Crosby? They're talking about Crosby on the chat here. Do you think Crosby, first of all, will get traded?
No.
And I don't think so. But do you have heard some kind of rumors of him like talking with management and stuff? I don't know. But if he did, I mean, would that be a consideration for the Bruins?
I think the Bruins would entertain it, certainly.
But at 8.7, that's a lot.
They don't have enough to give the Penguins.
No,
There'll be other teams out there that could vastly outbid the Bruins. Now, could Crosby pull a Taylor Hall and say, I only want to go to the Bruins? Sure, he could.
Sure, he could.
But he could also say, I only want to go to Colorado. And if I was him, that's what I would do.
I would go to Colorado.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the Bruins.
And I would recruit Marchand to do the same thing.
Yeah. I'd play with McKinnon.
Right.
You know? They have a much better chance of winning than the Bruins do. But they're not going to trade him. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's going anywhere. Korpisalo's contract, I think it's okay. I mean, it's $3 million a year. And if he plays like this or similar to this, I think it's fine. I mean, the cap is going up. You get $11 million in goalies. I mean, that's kind of the going rate. So I think it's fine as long as he plays okay. I mean, if he just falls on his face and really stinks. But you also have a problem in the organization right now where I'm not sure there's anybody in the organization who can play NHL goaltender right now. So you're going to have to go outside. I mean, BPHO maybe. DPHO has been good consistently for a bit now and trending upward for a while, like no real dips. Hussey has, all over the map. Like he's just, I don't think it's happening for him.
No.
But DiPietro maybe. And then you make that decision again in the offseason. Maybe make that decision if Korpisalo plays okay and someone's desperate for a goalie, which someone will be.
Carolina's desperate for a goalie right now because
they are, because both of them.
Yeah. Kochetkov just got hurt and Anderson's already hurt.
Right. And Anderson's out for a while.
Yeah. So that could be that could be worth monitoring.
Sure. That one for sure. I could send Korpisalo there.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know who you get in return, but you could think. I mean, they may trade like a 2nd round pick or something. They may trade some pick they don't care about. Honestly, they don't need draft picks right now. This is their window. So they might trade a high pick for him just to get it done. I mean, you may be able to steal a late 1st round pick for the guy.
Who knows?
If he's pretty good and they're desperate, sure. Yeah. You might be able to hit it right. I mean, you've got that with the Allmark thing. So, the Rangers have been struggling. So Kreider and Trouba, I mean, that's something to monitor. I don't think Trouba will be a Bruin, but Kreider is a kind of a natural fit. So
I mean, he's a power forward. That's what they're looking for. So, I mean, that part fits.
Right.
I'm not sure what the Bruins can give up. To bring him in.
No,
like
I'm not
they
sure.
really should be trading from forward, not from defense. But I'm not sure they have any forwards that the Rangers would be interested in.
Right.
Right.
So tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We're all thankful for so many things.
Yes.
And thankful for our listeners, of course.
100%.
Our watchers and our commenters. It's been a great, I'll tell you what, this season, even though the Bruins have been there, this has been a real fun go of it so far, the first 24 games or so.
Yeah.
And so what is the big, so tomorrow's Thanksgiving, what is the big dish that you're going to just hammer down tomorrow?
There's a sweet potato casserole. It's got some like brown sugar stuff on the top of that.
You had me at brown sugar. Yeah.
I'll be in on that. Always been a big stuffing guy.
Okay. Stuffing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really like everything. We make like a
Mm.
spicy green bean thing that's
Mm.
good.
Mm.
Always a big dessert guy. I like turkey. I don't love turkey. I like it. But I'll eat everything: mashed potatoes, gravy, load
Yeah, I'll
me.
eat it all. I'll eat
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah, I really do like everything from Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You like the pumpkin pie, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Love it. I love pie in general.
Yeah. Oh, I love pie, but pumpkin, I never really got behind. Like, it depends. Again, it depends. Maybe I should try it again. I mean, I just fell in love
Yeah.
with eggnog, so
Pumpkin
maybe I
pie,
try it.
load that bitch up with whipped cream, like load it up.
Oh, I mean, load it up, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, anything
So
loaded
you,
up.
so you can't see the pumpkin pie. I'm talking about loaded
Yeah,
up.
like load it up.
Load
Yeah.
it up. Yeah, and then
And
it's
just hammer it.
fantastic. Yeah, it's really good.
Super old school mac and cheese casserole is a good
Oh.
call, Buzz. I mean, that's so good.
I love mac and cheese casserole.
Sure. Dan says they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Australia, but happy Thanksgiving, and thank you, Dan, for that. He's got an American friend who lives here. We go to his each year and help him celebrate. So he does get to at least enjoy the food festivities. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, in America, it's football and it's turkey and it's taking naps and it's
Yeah.
I mean, what could be better?
And pie.
And any of that and pie. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's pretty good throughout across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so tonight Bruins win 6-3, open the floodgates, beat the Islanders. They'll be back at it Friday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think it's a 6:30 start.
6, I believe.
Clock start on Friday night.
Start on Friday. Yep.
So we will be at it post game Friday night as well. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and as always, go Bruins.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.